Dudes, I have a confession to make. And I'm not proud of it, actually. Being that I am a crew chief of a professional race team, that makes it even worse, actually. And we're going to do something about it today, and that's what I'm struggling against right now. But as a car guy, you don't always... Let's get this thing rolling. You don't always have time to get your own cars running. And Tiffany is one of those things. It's been over 4 years, 5 years actually, if I really take my shoes off and do the math. And she's been completely neglected. But that changes today. In fact, that started to be changed a couple months back when we went out to California. We dropped a bunch of stuff off to Engine Supply, which is the guy who does all of Rad Dan's 2Js. They do some really good machine work. We are at Engine Supply. I don't even see this thing right there. So we're going through the parts. Hopefully they'll do the thing. We're making sure we have the tools and that the block can even take what we thought of. We got a new quote. What we do for fun. But technically, this has never been done before. When I first walked in, Mike was like, "No, I think you're a little too high performance for us." And I was like, "Really?" Brad, Dan, and Toby told, and he goes, "The only guys that are doing that." So before I even got to finish, like, the only guys doing stuff like that is like Rad Dan and Toby at Advanced. And I was like, yeah, both of them sent me here. So he's like, oh, okay. So you understand you're doing something stupid. And I said, yes, sir. Dude, it's been about 6 weeks or so. We're back at Engine Supply. About to go see everything that they did. So we just got our mazwork mains are in here. All of the pistons have been sized with a plate. So all the boring and everything was done with a plate bolted to this to simulate the head. Crank polished. Whole head gone through. Upsized valves. Brass guides. Dual coil springs. Everything. We got it all. So we got all our machine work done at Engine Supply, but that's not where all the good stuff stopped. We had our partners at ARP send us out a special prototype kind of kit for Miata, which we used. Supertech sent us out a bunch of good stuff, and we put it all together at Advanced Engine Dynamics with Toby. They're cleaning out their engine room for me, and they're gonna learn me some things. They're gonna have me do everything the way they would do it. Dudes, we're here at here. I've got the expert here with me. He promises 1,000 horsepower, guaranteed.
Per cylinder.
Per cylinder. 4,000, guys. Got all our stuff, everything back from Engine Supply, and now we're gonna start assembling it. We've got a lot of goodies here. Billets, billet mains. We'll go over everything and I'll talk about it more as I'm putting it together. But we're gonna give it a few hours of work in today, as long as this gentleman has patience with me. The first thing we're gonna do before we even get started assembling any of these awesome new rad parts that we have is we're going to scrub down the block with soap and water, run some degreaser through the oil galleys, and then we're gonna blow everything out, making sure that any of the material left from the machining process is being cleaned out so that it can't get into the new bearings and cause catastrophic damage.
My NCIS background.
My ex-wife used to make me watch that. Is this one? Yeah.
Easy way to find out.
So this is called the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah. A little on the tight side. It's 1.5 thou. We want 1 or 2 thou. Remember we put in a half of a 1 thou tight?
Yeah.
So we're going to take those half
And
thou
just do the
tights out,
standards.
and we'll double check the measurement. That's a first.
And then these ones right here, we check these just to see if that one might be. I mean, we're assuming that
I
Mike
haven't measured the crank, but
Well, I just mean we need the overall. Is that one also like those ones?
1.6.
So yeah, they're within 0.1.
Well, yeah, based off of that one measurement, but they'll be within a tenth.
Okay. Hey, dude, so what we're doing now is we're sizing the bearings to the crank and making sure that we have the right clearance for oil. And Toby's got a method where we use different size bearings in order to make up the gap. What's happening now is this is 3 thou even, and these are 20?
2.
Or 2. So somehow we have this journal and this journal are the same size. Somehow the outer diameters of these are the same size because they're all bored on the line bore. Yet we're way bigger. So that's what we're trying to figure out now, which is why we're taking them on and off. And then he is using his gauges here. So we measure this to the journal, zero that out to there, and then this will tell us the difference between this and the diameter. And something's going on. So this is his first time having this. So you guys, we're doing this together. We got all the rods done and we've weighed everything. Everything's within 0.8 of a gram balanced. And now what we're doing right now is rings. And why are we doing the rings? Well, because when there's heat introduced into the motor from the combustion, we need to make sure that the gap of that space right there is far enough away so that when these heat up, they can expand but not touch and bind up. Because then will end up happening, popping the pistons out, breaking stuff. And in fact, I'll show you right here. Come right here to the motor that why we're rebuilding it. And we come down here, we've got the CP pistons that were in there. And yeah, so as you guys can see, melted and bound up the rings. So these rings were gapped right. What ended up going wrong here was the fuel ratio. Got really, really lean, and I kept my foot in it. Assembled all of the pistons, all of the rings, wrist pins, rods, everything's there. Now we're getting ready. We've also installed the crank, and there it is right there. We're getting ready to drop in the pistons. And look what this this technology, this wizardry he just showed me. And you just set it on here. You see that? And you just push the thing in.
Hold this, you're going to push real hard, real fast, one motion. Okay. Next time, go even harder than
that. And then it marks them off that we did it. Now we're going to put you on time lapse to do the rest of it. You know the old saying, measure twice, cut once? Well, it goes even more specific to this here when you are building a motor. Having Toby be willing to walk me through all of this stuff and make sure I get it right is amazing. If you need any work done on your race cars, be it tuning or engine building, Advanced Engine Dynamics is the spot. Toby is the only guy I'll trust doing this with, and he's also the only gentleman I trust tuning my vehicle. Big thanks to Toby, and now we know what we're doing. So, this motor has got all the custom stuff you can do to it. And one of the things that we're doing, aside from the billet main caps, is we're also using the stock, it's like a belly pan, but But what it does, it's a little girdle that allows you to bolt the outside of the block to the mains. So this whole thing here. But when you go with the ARP head stud for the big Miata kit, or the main studs, they pop up a little bit. So we have to go in and grind out clearance on each of these. We're down to the last little bit here. Then the last places we got to do is just a little bit here, here, those 4 holes, and then a little bit on this side. And then that'll sit down, and that allows us to bolt all the mains. So not only do we have the ARP main studs and the mazworks main caps, but now we also have the 2001 windage tray and oil pan. I'm just getting the last little bit of grinding done on these. What I'm doing is taking a die grinder, this tiny little guy, and just chipping away. And yes, of course, dudes, I am making sure I clean all the metal filings. We're going over to the degreaser tank, running fluid through it, getting it into the soap tank, washing everything off, and that's each time I go and refit it, because we do not want any of these fresh metal filings to get into the new motor that we're building. So now the next step we're doing is we're putting in the oil galley plugs, which they took out to clean the whole block. Oil pump, then we can close up the bottom here, then we flip it, and
You gotta get the rear main on also. So oil pump, rear main, then you can seal this.
got it. Oil pump is on. I'm doing the rear main seal now. This gentleman, wow, you had him? He has everything. He has it all. Girdle on, bolted in, pick up all the RTV that you could ever want, maybe a little bit more. We put in the new oil restrictor. We've got the whole bottom end sealed up. We're waiting on these. This should be coming here right now from O'Reilly's. We've got the water pump. We're gonna throw on the ARP head studs, the Supertech. Actually, guys, so what we got here is this motor. We partnered with ARP and Supertech on this a few years back when I was only racing Tiffany. So I couldn't find a machine shop to do the main caps. We found one, and now we're finally here. So what we have here is our Supertech pistons, a full Supertech valve train system. So we've got 1 mil over valves on exhaust and intake. We have 85-pound dual coil springs. We've got eagle rods. We've got mazwork main caps, boundary oil pump, the VVT pan and girdle. We've got the valves all been done. We didn't flow anything, and then we're running stock cams. We'll swap the cams later, but we're 11-to-1 compression, and we'll be running about, I would say, 15 to 18 PSI. This tiny little thing is gonna make a whole lot of power. We'll see. Hope at least 300 plus wheel. While I am installing all of our new ARP fasteners, let me tell you a little bit about them. When I was talking with ARP about this project, they suggested make sure that all of the fasteners I have are out of their ARP 2000 material, which is a higher tensile strength steel. It's going to allow us to get more clamping force to keeping the head on the motor, which will prevent that from lifting, hopefully, and allowing any fluids to go where we don't want it to, keep all the boost in the motor and all the power to our tires. Check it out, dudes. Freaking worked up a sweat, torquing everything down, but we've got a fully built BP4W. Yeah, this is it. I think I might just clear coat the block because I do like the way that looks. But in the meantime, come check us out on Instagram. Same tag, NTGbuilds, and you'll get to see some of these things, what we're doing, all the stuff that's coming up about 6 weeks in advance before the video, so you get a little inside view. NTGbuilds, Instagram, check it out. Back next day, throwing in the cam seals, throw in the back here, and now I'm about to put on the valve cover, and we are done with what we can do here. I need to get a block off plate for this, or make one, throw some oil in it. I gotta close off this, and then we're good. But this is the beauty. All right, so I just gotta find the bolts. Everything's in. I do need to put the crank bolt in and just rotate everything make sure it rotates freely, everything's good. Okay, so here we're gonna do the first rotation. Oh yeah, and we done. So that leads us to this right here. I'm a little out of breath. Like I said, I'm ashamed that I let her get to this state and for as long as I did, but I'm extremely proud and happy of this build. For years now, I've been stacking parts, learning stuff. 5 years later, I got to put my motor together with Toby. Not many people have done this setup. If you were going NA, 11-to-1 is what you would use, but we're going boost and we're going 11-to-1. That's my confession, and it wasn't a step back, it's a step to the side. As you guys know, while I wasn't working on this, we were building these, and then we were campaigning these around the country, as well as working with a bunch of other awesome creators and getting to help them on their projects. And that getting to come in and be helpful and see what they do behind the scenes gave me the confidence to really lean into this. And we've made all the decisions and all the sacrifices to get here, and it's working out. We're getting reprints, but this is our new shirt. Now let me kind of give you a little explanation on it. I've always sought out to do great things and become great and be really good at stuff and wanting to do these amazing, great activities, accomplishments, goals, and so on. And it wasn't until I started practicing to become grateful that I could even appreciate all of the cool things that I've done and all of the growth that I've done. Grateful, greater than great. And that's the new merch. You can get it at NTGbuilds.com. To remind yourself, here you go.
I need my hands.